Bonjour à tous, bienvenue donc au direct du LangFest ce vendredi. Alors, je vais lancer la connexion avec notre ami Chuck. Voilà.
Salut.
Bonjour, salut. Donc, bienvenue à tous à ce direct du LangFest. So, welcome everybody to this live LangFest stream. C'est le dîner avec Tetsu et Joey, sans Tetsu ni Joey, mais avec moi, Nicolas Viau. Donc, je suis membre de l'équipe du LangFest. So this is the lunch with Tetsu and Joey, with neither Tetsu nor Joey being present. Neither of them can make it. So I'm Nicolas Viau, I'm a member of the LangFest team. Aujourd'hui, on parle avec Chuck Smith, qui est bien connu du monde de l'espéranto, bien connu du monde des polyglottes. So today we're going to talk with Chuck Smith, who is well known in the Esperanto world and in the polyglot world. I guess he will tell us what his life in those worlds is all about. Saluton, Chuck.
Saluton. Très bonne. Kavi?
Très bonne et encore. Donc, il faut dire que j'ai rencontré Chuck à travers l'espéranto, donc c'est notre langue commune. So, Esperanto is our common language. It's a language through which we've met. Chuck est passé à Montréal au LangFest l'année dernière et parle aussi français jusqu'à un certain point.
Oui, je vais aussi à la LangFest cette année.
Excellent. So, he will have the chance to improve even more. But I think he has all the tools, including amikumu, that maybe you'll talk about a little bit afterwards, to do that. And also, we will take questions. So I see there are a few people already commenting. So what we'll do is talk a little bit about your background, that you've done, to let everybody know who you are, those who don't know you yet. And afterwards, if we see some questions, going in the feed, then we will, I guess, take them. So I think the first thing that we might do is just ask you to let people know a little bit how you came to be involved in all those projects. I mean, the projects, we have Amikumu, but we also have the Esperanto version of Duolingo, the Polyglot Gathering, Esperanto Wikipedia. That was already a while ago. So just tell us a little bit about that.
So I guess it basically started when I was in college and I was taking a class called Models of Mind, which was artificial intelligence. And there I heard about Esperanto and I thought, oh, okay. And then I saw there was a service called Pasporta Servo, where you could stay with people overnight for free around the world. And at the same time, I found this free online email correspondence course. And I thought, oh, why not give it a shot? So then actually that was 10 months later, then I was looking at Wikipedia and I saw that it didn't have it had the Esperanto version ready, but didn't have any content in it. And I thought someone should get this started because it's a unique opportunity to make an encyclopedia in a non-national language that wouldn't exist otherwise.
No.
So yeah, and at that point I was actually even studying German a bit on my own, so I already had the language bug. So
Right.
Esperanto just pushed me to learn even more languages.
Great. So, and that was that was about 2001, right? Something like that. I think
Yes.
that's when the Esperanto Wikipedia was founded.
Exactly.
So it's Esperanto that puts you on that path, I guess, of language learning,
Actually, something a lot of people don't know about me and my language learning is that actually my first language I started learning was American Sign Language, because my mom was an amateur interpreter, and so she taught me some sign language, and it was actually interesting for us by ourselves that we could communicate across, say, quiet library, or once I communicated with her through a glass door at my friend's place. So.
Right. Well, actually, we already have a few questions, and one of them that's, I guess, on topic is what are the languages that you can speak right now?
Okay. So unfortunately, my ASL is too rusty right now. But, well, obviously, English is my native language. I'm fluent in Esperanto, quite decent in German. I mean, I've lived in Germany now for, 12, 13 years now. And conversational level, French, Spanish, and Dutch. So, and I keep learning a bit of Polish and forgetting it. So.
Oh, well, yeah, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. So
we all have that one language, right? We're like,
yeah.
I keep learning it, and then, yeah.
So was that before, or because now you live in Berlin?
Yes.
You've been living in Berlin for some time now. How did that come about? And did the German learning come before that, or did it come as a consequence of you moving to Germany?
So, well, I could speak, I'd say, survival German before I moved to Germany. So, I mean, that was like that bit of self-study from a teacher self-book a long time ago, and just some random stuff. I actually started learning German more intensively because I was working for a website reporting on board game news. And at the time, the German board game scene was sort of exploding into America. And so I actually wanted to learn German so I could get the head up on other journalists with board game news.
All right.
Oh, and as for coming to Germany, I was living in New York City, and which I actually moved to because I wanted to move to Europe, and I thought the place with the most opportunities to move to Europe would have probably be in New York. So I moved there, and then when I was in Germany, I said, I might like to. When I was at the Wikipedia conference, I said I might like to, work and live in Germany. And then 2 weeks later, I got a job offer at the University of Heilbronn to be a wiki researcher there. And then a couple of years after that, I got an offer to work at a poker social network in Berlin. So it's also kind of funny coming back, like doing another social network now, also in the role of CTO. So it's kind of nostalgia as well as a new project.
Yeah, because you're CTO at amikumu now, and I saw that there's already a question about your future plans for amikumu, and I guess that could be then the right time to tell us a little bit about amikumu, what it's for. Some people might not know it. I mean, we at LangFest know amikumu. You've received an award, innovation award from us last year. We're very glad that you were able to partner with us. So
thank you very much for that again.
So you're welcome.
So we actually just yesterday launched the Flow, which we think is going to revolutionize language learning. It's basically a feed you can have so that you can post in any language you know, and then other people nearby can also post in those whatever language they want to. So you can, when it gets really going, because I mean we just launched for iOS yesterday, but when it gets really going, the idea is that you'll post something in French, and then you'll see people in your city also posting things in French, and then you can start making connections based on what each other say. Because right now we're working on the comments, because that's been requested like crazy. Give us comments. So we've done that on server side. We're still working on the client side to get that ready. We hope to have that ready by the Polyglot gathering coming up at the end of the month.
Yeah.
So as far as future plans, yes.
Are you going to attend? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it this year, but as you may know, actually, the LangFest is sponsoring the gathering again this year. So we think this will help foster links and cross participation between North American polyglots and European polyglots. So that's so we have a very friendly relationship with the gathering.
Yes, amikumu is also a proud sponsor of the gathering this year.
Great. I mean, it's nice, in this community where we need, which isn't that big, it's growing, but you need everybody's support to make things happen, and definitely I think anybody who does anything, an app, an event, I think is welcome to collaborate on other projects, and that's one of the things that makes the community also pleasant to work in.
Yes, it's great.
All right, so I see that we have a few questions. One of them, two were about languages. One of them was about the hardest language that you've ever learned. So I think you've said it. It was maybe Polish, and the other one is Esperanto. Ĉu vi intencas lerni novan lingvon en la estonteco? So maybe you can respond that one or in English or in Esperanto, and then we'll summarize. I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay. So yeah, I think the hardest language is Polish. I learned a bit of Slovene a long time ago. I guess that was what, 15 years ago? Yeah. And that was on par. So I still remember the dual form in Slovene where you have like, you would say like dog,
Just
dogs.
you and me, right?
It's like you have a word for one, a word for two, and then you have a word for
Mm,
plural after that. So there's three words for every word. And so that's, yeah, unusual, an interesting feature. Um, let's see. New language. I'm thinking of brushing up on my Slovene or my ASL. I don't think I'm gonna pick up a new one because I'm going to the Polyglot conference later this year. I want to work on
yeah,
my
that's true.
Slovene.
In Slovenia.
Yeah, and obviously French coming back to Montreal. So I feel like I
Great. Yeah.
have a lot more to. I want to dig more into the languages I already know and picking up new ones.
Great. So, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you already have some Montreal plans.
Yes. So,
So, can you tell us a little bit about that, maybe?
oh, just well, I was fortunate enough to be one of the speakers at the American Canadian National Esperanto Conference in Seattle. And then I thought, why not make it a long? That's in mid-July, and I thought, why not make it a long trip through North America, and so I can keep working for amikumu while I travel, and then end up along the East Coast, and then go up to Montreal for LangFest.
And we'll be glad to have you come back again. At LangFest, definitely always a pleasure to meet you. And for everybody who's watching, obviously, if you want to be a part of LangFest, you want to see what it's about or live through the experience again, it's going to be hopefully bigger and better. Every year we try to improve. Then you can buy your tickets. I will post the link after this live feed. But anyways, if you just go to our website, montreal.langfest.org, there's a big button. You can just get your tickets there, and yeah, and that's we definitely hope to see you there.
And
So
if you're afraid of attending polyglot events, I just want to say that I think
oh
LangFest is
yes,
the best event for beginners who are like, I don't know, I only speak, oh, well, even I only speak one language, you can still go, obviously. But I find the other events are a bit more hardcore.
yeah. Well, I think there's a place for everyone. I've seen the gathering once. I've seen the conference, obviously Langfest that I've helped organize. I think when you look at the talks, when you look at the profile of the different people attending, I think nowadays there's a little bit of everything for
Mm.
everyone because some
Hmm.
talks are more into intricate whatever that might be more appealing to say nerdy types or hyperpolyglots, but you absolutely do not have to be a hyperpolyglot or even to be
Mm.
just you can be a person trying to learn their second, third language and go to an event because talking to people who have a little bit of experience doing that, you will probably learn a thing or two that could be useful to your learning. And also, I think just the meeting the people in the community, talking about interesting things, that's what makes it great. But there's something for everyone, including, for instance, at LangFest, we have a lot of language workshops. So you could try to see how what a language looks like with other learners who typically don't know anything about it. I mean, there's a lot of things. So yes, and which is it's one of the reasons that no, I'm talking too much, but it's one of the reasons why we talk about polyglots, but we also just like talking about language lovers, or the word polyglots can be scary to some people, and we don't want that to be a showstopper for anyone. So so yes, so talking about amikumu, if we talk a little bit about the gathering and about events, and one of the things I was wondering was you're basically one of the founders of the Polyglot Gathering, which was I think one of the very first events of the modern polyglot community that we find online and in real life as well. So how did you make that transition, or step out from being a mostly, I guess, Esperanto community member into that language community, and where did you get this idea to make people go to the same place and talk about languages?
So it's actually funny because the year of the first polyglot conference, my girlfriend Judith Meyer actually said, "Come with me to this polyglot conference." I'm like, "Oh, I'm not really a polyglot." "Oh, come on, it'll be fun." Like, she's like, "You speak 6 languages." I'm like, "Yeah, not very well."
So it's the same for everyone. Same for 90% of people going to these events.
Yeah, so she dragged me along, and then I was like, "Oh, this is really cool, actually." So it was a really fun event with 100 people in Budapest, and we found it. I mean, it was a great event, but we found it a little, I guess, more formal for our tastes than what we would typically prefer. And we really wanted to get this feel that you have at these Esperanto youth events. So we said, why don't we organize a polyglot event that's like an Esperanto youth event? So we actually used either the Internacia Seminario or the Junulada Esperanto Semaino as sort of a template for how to run the event. And it was actually really funny with with just the non-Esperanto speakers coming. They're sort of like, wow, this is such a grassroots type of event. And the Esperanto speakers coming were like, oh, it's like an Esperanto event, but more professional. I'm like, oh, okay. It was just pretty funny to just see the reactions of different people, and also expectations people have. Because we loved the first venue we picked because it was a hotel hostel. So we liked that you could get like this, if you're a student, you could save a lot of money, cheap, 8 beds to a room. Or if you wanted a bit more luxury, you could go for the single room, or, I mean, even stay off site in a nice hotel. So, but I really like that you get it's the real combination of people from whether you have money or you don't, and you can still come to the event and have a lot of fun.
Was that the event in Budapest or in Berlin? Because I think the first one was in Budapest, if I'm not mistaken. Or am I?
The Polyglot conference was in Budapest, and then we organized the Polyglot gathering in Berlin.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's how you make that transition.
Yes.
And maybe you can also tell us a little bit that now the past 2 years the Polyglot Gathering isn't in Berlin anymore. It's in Bratislava. So did you envision this to be a direction or a change? Moving from city to city. Even though I know you're not very closely involved with the current Polyglot Gathering because the local Bratislava team is handling it. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so basically what happened was we were just this volunteer team doing this event for 3 years, and it was just eating up so much of our energy, and we were starting to work on amikumu, and we're just like, we just can't do all this anymore. It's just too much, and I mean, it's a non-profit project, and and eventually we said, well, we need to just call it quits. And then we were surprised that then Lydia and Peter and Slovakia then said, can we take up the baton, and we want to do this event. We can't let this go. And so, oh, great, that sounds perfect. So, and then we were really delighted when we went last year, and we thought, wow, this is really well organized. We're really pleased with it. So there's a bit of a different feel to it, obviously. But I mean, anytime you switch cities, it's going to be a different feel to an event as well.
We're very happy with it there as well. Yeah, I had lots of fun there. I see we got a few more questions. One of them was about the Esperanto Wikipedia. The question is, how do you think it can be improved? So do you have an opinion on the current direction of the Esperanto Wikipedia or Wikipedia in general?
So I'm not too involved with them. I mean, I still talk to Wikipedians decent amount, but I mean, just more content, more polished content. So I mean, if you want to help out with the Esperanto Wikipedia, I recommend just start by editing some articles, get your your toes wet, and then from there you can move on to like creating new articles and things like that. So I mean, I think it's just a matter of just improving the quality. I mean, it's already a really good encyclopedia. But of course, because there aren't so many like native level speakers like other languages, you'll find more grammar errors than a typical national language, for example. I think a lot of proofreading could be so much desired.
I might add for people living in Montreal that the Bibliothèque nationale du Québec downtown Montreal organizes sort of Wikipedia primers, Wikipedia seminars for people who are interested in editing Wikipedia. I mean, for them, usually they say their goal is to get more articles written about Montreal and Quebec. But of course, you know, the basic Wikipedia skills that you learn in those little seminars, I think they have one every first Tuesday of the month or something like that, are applicable to any language. So that will be that's something that's really useful to know for people living in Montreal. What else? I see that we had a question after that I missed it. So I don't know. I forget what the question was. Let me see if I can scroll through. I guess I can. Oh yes, how many people attend the Polyglot Gathering? That was the question.
Okay, I think Peter's closer. I just saw he just joined the chat. He's probably closer to the statistics than I am. From my memory, it's 450 people, about 50 countries.
Yeah. So definitely that event has a lot of attraction. LangFest managed to involve a total of close to 400 participants last year, and of course we want to beat that. You know, you can participate. You know, 1 day, the 3 days, or even the 6 days, because there's the 3-day conference part, which is from Friday the 24th to Sunday the 26th of August. But before that, during the week, there's going to be social activities. You're going to be able to meet the participants that are already there. So that's a great way to have fun even before the actual talk part of the event, which isn't all talks. It's a mix of social and talks. So I think we have Peter here, who is speaking on behalf of his event. So he's saying 458 from 52. So soon, okay, in 1 and 2 days, we'll achieve 500. So congratulations. So yeah, it's I think it means that, you know, the polyglot community is growing, and it's you know, it's sort of the interest is there, and there's still a margin for growth. I see that.
Also, I want to mention that a lot of the inspiration from amikumu was the fact that not everyone can attend these polyglot events. So that it's an app so that you can find people speaking any language around you that you speak. And we've now we're members in over 135 countries who speak 499 languages. So if anyone wants to sign up and add that 500th language to their profile,
so we encourage anybody who speaks a rare language to sign up and maybe be that number 500 on that list. So I saw another comment that passed by that might interest you. Are there any major Esperanto events in Montreal? Well, there will be, and I should just you know, drop a line, because I'm a member of the local organizing committee for it as well. It's the World Esperanto Congress in 2020 in Montreal. So anybody who's interested in Esperanto, you're going to have the opportunity to speak a lot of Esperanto in the middle of the summer of 2020. And Chuck, we definitely hope to see you there as well. So yes, definitely there's a lot of things happening in Montreal regarding languages in general, but also Esperanto. So as our friend Zhenya, who's commenting now, is saying, you have 2 years to learn Esperanto for those who don't speak it yet. You can do it in less, probably. So no fears there. So that's the oh, and I see that Peter Balaj is thanking us. Well, you're welcome. All language freaks thanking us for propping up his event. Well, like I said, we want to be collaborative, and thanking all language freaks for registering.
Yeah, I even just
language
saw
freaks.
even just saw the organizer of the Polyglot conference also applauding the Polyglot gathering. So you really have this feeling of friendship between all the Polyglot events, and we really try to support each other.
Of course, and yeah, I mean, now we're talking about these two events between ourselves, but of course, Polyglot conference. I attended the Polyglot conference. It was my first Polyglot event as well, and it was great. And actually, Joey and Tetsu got their inspiration for LangFest because attending the Polyglot conference in New York, it was their first Polyglot event. It was mine as well. I think for a lot of attendees from North America, that event was their first event because a lot of them don't have the opportunity, time, or money to travel to European events. And it's actually that line of thinking that got Joey and Tetsu to think about, why don't we make a regular North American events for language lovers? But definitely, I mean, all three events, and there's even more now. I think there's events growing in Asia.
Right, and there's an event called Polyglotar in Brazil.
Attending.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So there's more and more of these events, more and more opportunities for people in all parts of the world to participate. And Peter is saying that the World Congress in Montreal will probably be my first journey to North America. Well, I definitely hope you will come, of course. So, okay, I guess there's already maybe 3 minutes-ish left. Is there anything you want to tell the audience, LangFest people, not LangFest people, anyone?
Well, we haven't touched on Duolingo at all. So,
yes, well, let's use, I had it on my list, and so let's use the last few minutes to talk about Duolingo.
Yeah, so in the next couple of weeks, we'll be launching the second version of the Esperanto for English speakers course. So if everything technically goes right, they're having some problems on their end, they're working on it. And we just got ready and then shortly after that, we should have the Esperanto for Portuguese also going live, which will be good because it'll be right in time before the World Congress in Portugal this summer.
Great.
So it's just been incredible because there's over 1.5 million people learning Esperanto on Duolingo now. It's just incredible to see the community grow like this. Yeah,
I mean, I see a lot of people both online, and I've met a few in real life who have started learning with Duolingo, and I think the work that you've done with the whole team, also with Ruth in the US, who's who often comes to our events in Canada. For instance, we have a spring event that's coming up, and she's used to coming. And we know that the work that you've all done on this is extraordinary.
Thank you.
All right. So I think that pretty much wraps up the conversation. So thank you everyone for being with us, for watching. So remember that, if you want to be part of this, well, there's a very simple way. Just go to the LangFest webpage, montreal.langfest.org, the big button, get your ticket. So you can get your tickets there. And even if you can't come or still don't know, make sure to like the LangFest page, to follow all the news that we're more or less constantly spreading around. So yes, we definitely hope to see you there. And Chuck, thank you very much for talking with me today.
Thank you, and I look forward to seeing everyone at LangFest.
Great. All right. Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.